Everything turn, 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 there is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under.
Many of us came from a situation where we lived by ourselves in our own apartment or our own house, and for some reason, one reason or another, moved into this assisted living facility. And it seems like we all discovered that we are really social animals. It's so nice to have company at mealtime, have somebody to chat with, have neighbors, instead of spending most of our time by ourselves in our own house or apartment. It gets to be very boring to eat by yourself almost all the time, and your cooking tends to go downhill when you don't have to perform for somebody else. You just have to sort of take care of your own caloric necessities, and it's amazing what can happen to your cooking skills. Each resident gets a copy of the weekly menu so we know what's coming up, and if there's something on that menu that doesn't agree or that we don't particularly care for, we always have the opportunity to approach the kitchen and ask for something else. Well, you know, when you look back at life the way it used to be, maybe 150 years ago, we had extended families living close to each other. And we've lost that extended family these days. And I think that's one reason why these group facilities fill a very important role. Because here we can get together and still be part of a community instead of being little islands unto ourselves. I don't think humans were designed to be by themselves. So here we are, back living all together, but still with our individual privacy in our individual rooms. So we have the best of both worlds here. Being connected to the internet gives me the opportunity to cover newspapers from all over the world, and typically I try to follow 2 Norwegian newspapers from my home country. This bookstand is incredible. So you can sit here and read. It's very easy to turn the pages. It can handle any kind of book, even a paperback, which is impossible to read one-handedly, because a paperback wants to close. So here I have these little things, little springs, and we'll keep it open, and I can just sit back and read and enjoy it. Look out the window at the frozen river and the hill across in New Hampshire. Very nice place to be. I think the population of this facility, when all beds are taken, is either 26 or 27. Just enough to the point where we all get to know each other, and it becomes probably more of a home than a much larger facility would be. One of the big assets of this house is the living room. That's where a lot of our entertainment takes place. There's always something going on here that we have the opportunity to take advantage of. And also in the living room we have a great big flat screen television with various other equipment, so that's where we show movies now and then. For instance, there is usually a Saturday matinee happening with juice and popcorn. That tends to be quite popular, especially on an overcast grey day, which is tailor-made for a movie matinee. It even seems like some people, as they spend more time here, open up more, and I almost have to say blossom. There can be a marked change from when I first came in to the personality they developed after, say, a few months. And it's very interesting to observe something like that. Again, I think that has to do with the company of other human beings instead of our solitary existence before we came in here. Well, down in around the nurses' station, we have a birdcage with 2 parakeets that a lot of us enjoy. They can be extremely noisy. They can also be very quiet. And there's always a lot of interaction between the two. One wonders, what are they saying? Unfortunately, none of us speak parakeets. I've been part of the All Souls Church choir for I don't know how many years, probably about 20 or more. And that's one thing I still try to keep up with. Singing is good therapy for some weakened internal muscles, and the companionship is also wonderful.
Just tell me that home. Okay, Harold, do you want to join us on that?
45.
45.
Let's see, where would I be there?
Okay. Everyone find his note?
Some of us are humming, and some of us are trying to keep the vowel going.
I think the hum is better, don't you?
So after the first, after Asher, what was it?
Home.
Yeah, so when he gets to sing word, it should be on the M.
Yes.
Okay.